In this episode of Detroit Performs, a play peeks inside the mind of someone dealing with mental illness in the family, an abstract artist, and using performance and storytelling to engage and inspire LGBTQ youth. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta Faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver, and today we are back at Tipping Point Theater, where they allowed us in on the rehearsal of the play, Every Brilliant Thing, which generates important conversations around mental health. Take a look.
The list began after her first attempt. A list of everything brilliant about the world, everything worth living for. Number 1, ice cream. Number 2,
depression and suicide are things that a lot more people deal with than I think we realize.
It's easier to say that it's a play about depression, but I think it's about finding things that are hopeful.
It is common for the children of suicides to blame themselves. It's natural.
It's definitely the most important piece of theater I've ever done.
No matter how much you know that you're not to blame, you can't help but feel that you failed them. It's not fair to feel that way, but it's natural.
Every Brilliant Thing is a list started by a 7-year-old in order to help his mother. Number 2, water fights.
Number 10, kind old people who aren't weird and don't smell unusual.
We actually have 2 actors playing the role, both a man and a woman, depending on the night you come, but I'm going to explain it this way. The mother has tried to commit death by suicide, and the boy decides at that moment, because he needs a way to process this, to create a list of every brilliant thing in the world, everything worth living for his mom. And when she gets home, he gives her the list, and he knows she's read it because she checks his spelling. You know, and that's the first of many light moments that show you that, you know, nobody has a day or their life is just depressing moment after depressing moment. There's always some levity in it. There's always something that happens. And he keeps revisiting the list at both high and low moments in his life. And the real story is there's always something brilliant. There's always something that you can look to, you know, at any low point in your life.
Number 23. Inspector Gadget. Oh, 24.
Spaghetti with meatballs.
25.
Everyone in their life battles these type of feelings at some point. And so I think everyone in the audience will either be going through something or they will be helping someone who's going through something. That's just the reality of who we are as human beings. So everyone will be able to relate to this story.
The weight of the issues that it's dealing with and the fact that it deals with them gently and with a great deal of care and a great deal of humor, it's just brilliant. From the first line to the last moment, the way that it's constructed is a theatrical experience that is very, very rare. And when something bad happens, the body feels it before the brain can know what's happening. It's a survival mechanism. The stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol flood your system. It feels like a trapdoor opening beneath you. Fight or flight or stand as still as you can. I stood very still.
We're really charged as actors in this show to help people remember why it's good to be living right now, right here. So it's a really, really important piece.
I mean, the idea that a list of nice things could somehow combat hardwired depression was embarrassingly naive. I was so upset, I went to rip the list in half when I noticed someone else's handwriting.
I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't have someone in their life that is dealing to some extent with some behavioral health challenges, whether it be depression or otherwise. And I think a lot of people don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to talk about it. It's not as simple as, hey, just be happy. And that's part of the reason we partnered with St. Mary Mercy Hospital for this production, is to say, hey, here's some resources that are out there, whether you're a person that's dealing with depression or you're a person whose family member or friend is dealing with depression.
The show is a very nice portrayal of a child who grows into an adult whose mother is suffering from depression and suicide attempts, and it shows how it affects him, how it affects his relationships growing up, and how as a child, and even as an adult, he understands that mental illness.
On her mirror was 575.
Piglets.
And on the kettle was 654.
Marlon Brando.
And on her bed was number 11.
Bed.
Each morning, outside my door, I would find a small stack of yellow squares of paper. So I became more inventive.
By the show's end, he has reached 1 million things. But the problem is, even 1 million brilliant things, that's not going to treat the depression. The proper treatment for depression is the psychotherapy, the medication, the treatment that we have in place that so many people really either don't know about or don't pursue for whatever reason.
I think when we're really serious about something, it seems untouchable, and people become uncomfortable, and they don't really want to look at something that's so heavy. But if we can remember that there's levity and joy dancing around even the most serious of items, then it makes it a lot more approachable.
I think it's very important to keep in mind that we are all human, and humans are imperfect. Mental illness is something we often take so seriously, it's almost too serious. We don't want to go anywhere near it. When we use humor as an approach, it softens it and makes it more accessible to people. So we are able to talk about it and help to remove the stigma associated with it.
Great. I am going to stop you. There is only one hard and fast rule when euthanizing the beloved pet of a small child, and that is no smiling. So other than that, it's going really well. I think we can do this.
What's the most amazing about this is it's the exact same script for both actors, and it is a completely different show. The tone is different, the feel is different, but the message stays the same.
And that was my experience of death. A loved one becoming an object and being taken away forever.
And also, I love the audience interaction component. The audience comes in and they're our scene partner, and we get to put our trust in a new group of people every day, and that's awesome.
Are you saying that this book, caused people to take their own lives?
No? Yes. Yes.
Huh. And you would like us to read that book?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, my lecturer!
It gets people leaning in, and gets people listening, and gets people feeling like they're part of the journey that the actor's taking. And I think that really leads to a lot of meaningful conversations when people walk out at the end of the show, now armed with some context around depression.
I have a piece of advice for anyone who's been contemplating suicide. It's really simple advice, it's this. Don't do it. Things get better. They don't always get brilliant, but they get better.
You can learn more about Every Brilliant Thing and find mental health resources on DetroitPerforms.org. Sanda Cook is an abstract artist and tarot card reader who was born in Romania, lived in Japan, and now calls Michigan home. We caught up with her to gain some insight into her work.
I do art from very young age, 10 years old, start with watercolors, go outside and paint the beautiful landscape and nature and feelings. I start seriously to paint when my teacher back then see some talent in me and encourage me in my art path in Romania. I love abstract art because it's very free and it's very spontaneous, and as well it's full of surprise. It's hard to actually control everything on the canvas and abstract art, then your energy and creativity develop as the painting gets formed. And it's very open-minded experience for me, a very playful and spiritual experience. I think I find in my art a way of meditate, and sometimes I feel it's like a prayer. Maybe it's a prayer to God, universe, to nature. It's a tribute to beautiful values in my life and a declaration of love for them. As well, I feel in universe there are so much beautiful energies, and maybe universe energy wanna come through me and the canvas and choose me to create stories. This painting, it's about cosmic energy and as well joy of life. Identify when we feel good about things and we feel good about life and everything is aligned in our life, we feel happy, we feel exuberant, we feel joyful, and we reflect that in what we're doing in relationship with others, and we are generous and loving and supportive. In the end, we humans are the same. We are one conscious entity, beautiful human beings and spirituality, and I think this painting represents connection with others, other humans, other souls, beautiful energy, joy of life, expressivity, and as well that great, almost like empowerment energy. I grew up in Romania, and like a school, I graduate college, law college in Romania, where I learned a lot of interesting things, what give me balance and sense of justice in this life. And as well, I graduate 3 years of art school in Romania. As a young, I always feel I have a very intuitive personality, empathic and clairvoyant. I can feel things coming, or the weather change, or I will tell people to be aware of different things happen in their life or improve their life, being a very young child. My grandfather loved nature, and I think he has in his blood a little bit of good gypsy. And it's all that culture of being clairvoyant and read tarot cards. It's actually to help people to unblock their fear and accomplish their dreams and passion in life. And this card is talking about you being on a crossroads. It's actually a very interesting card. You think about decisions and things you might have to change in your life. And that can be in your life journey about maybe different place to live, or go to school, study something what you really, really love. And it's like all those dreams and hopes you have, all those things you want to accomplish in your life. That makes sense to you? That
yeah, it's definitely applicable, absolutely.
Yeah, then let's talk about you're going to make the right decisions and feel like within a month, a lot of things going to change, because you're going to actually embrace your dreams and hopes, and you're going to go forward to actually put in actions your dreams and hopes that right now in your mind you think about. It's like a broderie. I love to teach people because I love to inspire and share my knowledge. I feel like my knowledge and all my experience need to be shared and inspire others to create. There are people who want to create and do art, but they never think they can do it. There are people who I teach them to paint, they never paint before, and now they are actually successful. And I'm so proud of that, to put that seed of love and creativity and make them believe in themselves. People need to be nourished and have hopes and someone to tell them their potential. And I want to believe I'm one of those people, even if it's a humble statement. I feel I have that love for people to inspire them. I think I will make something more springtime, some beautiful energy and light and spring and greens and yellow. Spring, it's winter, it's cold outside, and I want to bring some light in my heart, into canvas, to the viewers. Springtime.
Now let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around the D. Dance is a lifeline for many youth at the Ruth Ellis Center. So, Kristi Faulkner Dance collaborated with the center in creating Not in My House to engage and inspire LGBTQ youth through performance and storytelling. The collaboration culminates with an original live performance. Next up is a sneak peek at the feature-length documentary being made about the people, the process, and the power to explore and celebrate identity in the LGBTQ community.
I started dancing from a very, very young age. Like, I was one of them kids, like a song come on the radio, I'm on top of the table and I'm dancing. I'll turn it up. I remember the first time my mama ever saw me dance, it was on top of a table. And my auntie and her friends was like, yes, get it, get it. And I was like really dancing. It was like, I was dancing like a girl. I was like, what are you doing? Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. She caught me, and I'm like 5 years old at this point, so I'm not thinking I'm doing nothing wrong. And she like, no, you will not. No, you will not. And that's how it started. Dance has always been a part of my life. I just like to dance. Like, I always just have my little happy dances or something. Like, you'll catch me like jumping around or just dancing. I'm just an all-around bubbly person.
I was in and out of high schools. I was actually like leaving high school, so I wasn't able to like still major at the high school that I was at because I was kicked out. So in that instance, I thought that it was just over. Like, okay, well, you can't do ballet, you can't do modern dance through school. So what's the next step? Like, you can't do major anymore. So like, what's the next step? I feel like I couldn't get away from dancing if I wanted to. I feel like every time I turn around, it's something else that's showing me that I'm supposed to be dancing.
Like, I couldn't necessarily figure out a dance that fit me. And then I seen voguing. It was like, there was something very non-binary about voguing, but it was filled with so much sass and like creativity. And I was like, literally all these people are doing the same dance and it looks different for every person. It literally looks different. And it was just like, this is it. It was like a light bulb in my head, like, oh, there's a way to be expressive through dance.
It got me to express myself in a way that I didn't think I could, actually. It It kind of boosts my confidence up, and it kind of like helped me go out there more and like experience more. Like, I'm more of a homebody, shy type of person. So this kind of gave me that opportunity to branch out and be someone else and like express myself in a way that I typically probably wouldn't have done.
It's just fun. It's a way to express how you feel. It's a way to clear your mind. It does a lot that a lot of people really wouldn't think that it does. It takes you away from if you're going through something or you just want to go have some fun with your friends. It just takes your mind off of everything. It's like a stress reliever. It just clears my head of all the, and like I know that I have to go back to like, you know, thinking about everyday life, but in that moment, I don't have to worry about anything, and I'm just free to dance and enjoy myself.
I can be as feminine as possible. There's no judgment. I can go out there and wear whatever I want to. And I just feel like myself that I think it's best, and it looks better when you go out there and be yourself. So myself is feminine. I get out there, I spin, I dance, I get on the floor, and I do my best.
I dance in front of my people and stuff like that. It just shows them, you know, what I actually really do. So I, you know, express myself through dancing, and at first I was a little shy about it and stuff like that, and, you know, scared to do it, but after a while, I felt comfortable.
It's a huge confidence boost to be able to just pick something up and be like, dang, I'm really good at this. And it's like, well, you've been dancing your whole life, so of course you're good at it. It's just a different type of dance.
I'm just not the person I was before I walked onto the floor. It's like an alter ego for me. I'm like actually kind of shy before I do it, and then it's just like I'm somebody else when I'm, you know, when I'm old. As soon as I start going into it, like all that goes away and I'm somebody different for that moment.
I believe in showing people that just because you are different or just because you don't have something that the main couple of people have does not mean that you're going to be any less of a person or any less of a dancer than them.
And I think that that's just something that we don't think about it, right? Because these people are trans, gay, lesbian, gender non-conforming, non-binary. And it's like we don't know how to deal with differences in America through our history, right? How do we deal with people who are different from us? It's mostly an attack on you, right?
A lot of us are discarded when we come out, or per se like be gay like really open, because I didn't like get like thrown away until I decided to be a trans. Mom was not having it, and so she was one of those moms like, okay, you can be a gay boy as long as you keep them pants on and that polo. And that just was never me, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
That's the type of strength that we have as Black LGBTQ people, is like this relentless survival. And we want everyone to be there with us at the end. Like when we've succeeded, we want all people to be there. We don't want to be standing there like, all right, cis heterosexual people, we made it. Like, no, we want to all be standing on that line and say like, yo, this is what difference look like. This is what a human being can look like. It's like, one day we'll get there.
I want everyone to be who they want to be who you want to be, do what you want to do, as long as you're keeping yourself happy and you're not harming anyone else. Like, that's what I fight for, I guess. I'm fighting for that ability for you to express and be who you want to be, because I know that's a world that I want to live in. So, yeah.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on coming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank Tipping Point Theater for having us out here today. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.